It's a hot September Saturday in Como as the 1-1 Missouri Tigers take on the 1-1 Purdue Boilermakers. It's the SEC versus the Big Ten, and it's right here on SEC Network. I'm Taylor Zarzer. We welcome you to Faroe Field. He's Andre Ware. You'll see Olivia Harlan in just a moment. Andre, we might have a shootout today.
Yeah, it's two teams with a lot of explosive players on the offensive side of the football. In my opinion, I think this one is the first team to 40. That's who wins the ball game today.
Well, let's start with Missouri. They've been prolific on offense, led by quarterback Drew Lock and running back Demarie Crockett.
Yeah, been nothing short of magical on the offensive side of the ball for Missouri. Their quarterback and running back combination are the best in the entire country. Actually, they are the best in combined yards. Over 1,000 yards of combined offense, most by any quarterback running back duo in the FBS. Lock can get it done, but Crockett, keep your eyes on him this afternoon.
Meanwhile, Purdue has a new head coach. He is Jeff Brom. His Western Kentucky Hilltoppers in 3 years there led the country in offense. He's searching for his quarterback here at Purdue.
Yeah, this is just a flat-out good football coach. He's put together a remarkable staff here at Purdue. You see it as soon as you turn the film on, but he's got two guys, and sometimes two is better than one. In my opinion, David Blau going to start the game today. Elijah Salander is a guy with a big arm, big presence in the pocket. They've been doing it as a combo for Purdue the first two games of the year.
Now, meanwhile, on defense, there have been some issues this week for the Missouri Tigers. For more on that, we say hello to Olivia Harlan.
Yeah, Taylor, this past Sunday, head coach Barry Odom fired his defensive coordinator, Tamonte Cross. He said it was for more philosophical issues rather than on the field, despite Missouri's recent struggle on that side of the ball. Now, some players on defense took the news harder than others, expressing their surprise. Coach Odom, however, told us that nothing changes except him coaching the inside linebackers. He had already taken over the defense middle of the season last year. Now, some are concerned it's too much on his plate, but Coach Odom has cut back on off-the-field program obligations and credits his graduate assistants, who he says are especially advanced and helpful with the defense. Coach Odom feels confident in the change and direction of his program.
Olivia, as you know, it is hot down there today, 87 degrees at kickoff. Purdue wearing those dark jerseys, or the Missouri Tigers rather wearing the dark jerseys. Purdue wearing the white jerseys today with the black numbers. Purdue won the toss and will receive. Purdue is 6-2 against the Missouri Tigers, but these two teams have not met since the 50s. In fact, Purdue has not been here since 1953, and as you know, Missouri wasn't in the SEC at that time. Purdue has not played on an SEC campus in over 70 years. Let's kick it off with DJ Knox back deep. Tucker McCann will put his right foot into it. And that is another touchback for Mizzou, and Purdue will start on offense. Let's take a look at those lineups. Start presented by Jimmy John's. See for the Purdue Boilermakers, David Blau getting the start today. What a game Tario Fuller had last week.
Yeah, career high in rushing yards and a touchdown to go along with a good young back for Purdue.
He had over 142 yards rushing. He only had 59 career yards coming into that game before he went off against the Ohio Bobcats. Blau getting the start and immediately hands to Fuller, and Fuller gets a yard. It's 2nd and 9. Beckner and Utze, those defensive tackles for Missouri that have been terrific throughout their career, especially that man, Terry Beckner Jr., switching to number 5 this year. Back from another knee injury, is at full speed. Draped in sunshine, Blau to Fuller out of the backfield, and Fuller stays on his feet, and he's out of bounds on the Purdue sideline right near a first down where Anthony Sherrills pushes him out.
Yeah, I talked about leverage in this game with Missouri yesterday, and they're going to have to find a way to leverage this offense, keep everything inside there. They allow Fuller, who is an excellent pass receiver out of the backfield, to get outside the defense, therefore picking up the first down.
Worship and Fuller both in the backfield with Blau on a 1st and 10. Fuller tries to get a block from Worship. He can't find it. Therese Hall is in the backfield as we take a look at Missouri's starting lineup on that side of the football today.
Yeah, Terry Beckner, when you start talking about Missouri on defense, he's a guy, they want to stop the run. They know Purdue wants to stay balanced in this ball game. Well, Terry Beckner right in the middle of Missouri's defense, going to have a big game in that department, in the run-stop department.
2nd and 10, play fake. Plenty of time. Wide open receiver into Missouri territory is Anthony Mahungu. First down, Boilermakers.
Just a tough route to cover when you're crossing the entire field. It's tough for a defensive back to cover a receiver. It's just the longest route you have to cover, and if the quarterback gets time, that's usually the result.
Senior from Parents France, Mahungu had his first career touchdown last week, 21 yards on that play. Back to Tario. And he might get a yard. Caleb Pruitt, the K-State transfer right there.
Yeah, you look at what Purdue's doing on offense. Jeff Brom talked to us, told us they wanted to stay balanced today. They started last week against Ohio with 4 straight runs on the ground. Everybody thinks Purdue's slinging it around a bunch, but they've been just about 50-50 in pass and run this season.
Fuller replaced by Knox in the backfield. Blau, pocket collapses, shovels it ahead, and Knox catches it and is near another first down inside the 35-yard line.
And this is the start that Jeff Brom was looking for from David Blau. He's usually the guy that comes off the bench. This is reverse order today, and this is what he can give you when he starts the game hot. You saw the big pass across the middle, the flare pass out to Tario Fuller, and then plays like this. He's an athletic guy that can just flat out make plays when you allow him.
Did the 89 Heisman Trophy winner have that kind of flip?
Yeah, a little shovel pass in there.
Purdue on the march at the 34, and here comes the reverse with Blau blocking in front for Terry Wright. Wright's got daylight inside the 20. First down, Purdue from there.
Yeah, they love to run Terry Wright on speed sweeps and reverses, and here's one of those, a little toss back off the handoff. And when you play Purdue, you have to prepare for trick plays because they have got a bunch of them in a bag that they're going to travel with, and that shows it right there. Early in the ball game, Jeff Brom dialing up some trick plays.
16 yards out of the backfield for Terry Wright, the junior from Memphis, Tennessee. Boilermakers have been terrific in the red zone, and Blau escapes the completion to Phillips.
What a move.
Look at that move. First and goal, Boilermakers.
Well, Gregory Phillips, solid route runner. You see it on film right away, and he just finds a way to get himself open with precise route running. Here, it's the scramble drill. Find a spot on the field and zone coverage and let David Blau find you, and then do something with the ball after the catch. Excellent throw and catch and the work after.
You see Phillips there. That was his 49th catch of his career.
We got a lot of room over here, right to the corner. Excellent formation for that.
The give to Fuller, who goes that way, and he's at the 5.
He's setting it up, allowing Missouri to think, hey, we're going to run the football down here. This is what we like to do, and go right back to that formation, maybe get a look at it, play before, and then come to it right here on 2nd down.
Chris Turner, you see there with the tackle. It's Jeff Brom, calling the plays for David Blau. Brom, known as one of the best play callers in college football. This time, it's a pass out to the left side that's caught.
Oh, what a tackle.
Jackson Anthrop is out there. Anthony Sherrill's making an open field tackle.
A nice job in the open field. He's been a solid special teams player for most of his career, stepping in as a starter this year. If he doesn't make that tackle, Taylor, it is 6 points for the Purdue Boilermakers.
Purdue is 36% on 3rd down. They're 9 for 9 scoring points in the red zone so far this year.
They want the big ones here, though, on the road.
Blau escapes to the end zone. Touchdown, Boilers. Blau not known for his running ability, scores a rushing touchdown, and Purdue strikes first.
Yeah, he made Joey Burkett just fooled him. Pretended to throw the football, got him in the air, and once he did, turned on the jets to get himself in the end zone. And this is the start that Jeff Brom was talking about. He wanted out of David Blau. Perfect first drive.
5 of 5, 51 yards, and a 5-yard rushing touchdown as Spencer Evans knocks in the extra point. The Boilermakers strike first in Columbia, Missouri, up 7-0. Purdue hasn't been here in 64 years, but they played Missouri in the 1980 Liberty Bowl, winning that game 28-25, led by Mark Herman, who was named the game MVP. Quarterback 22 of 28 for 289 yards passing and 4 touchdowns over in Memphis. And the Boilers win that day as they have the early 7-0 lead.
It's one of those great quarterbacks in a long line of great quarterbacks we'll talk about a little bit later in the ballgame, but Mark Herman certainly being one of those.
Now Purdue to kick off, and it's Spencer Evans, who already has 7 touchbacks this season. Purdue had 7 all year last year. This is a low line drive that's going to be picked up by an up man, and it is returned to this fumbled ball on the ground, and it's jumped on by Missouri back at the 17-yard line. So they'll have difficult field position, but they avoid a huge issue on their first play on a kick return.
Yeah, good coverage on the kick return. And then just getting a helmet on the football was Derek Barnes, who's a good special teams player. And Nick Holt told us about that. He said, hey, he is a true freshman, but he's just too good to keep off the field. And this young man showing it already to us early in the ball game.
Drew Locke, the junior from Lee's Summit, Missouri, at quarterback. We already have a whistle.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the receiving team. The previous play is under review.
All right, so that's James Carter, today's referee, as they will look at it upstairs, and we'll have a chance to do that as well.
Maybe just where this football is actually recovered for a spot here, because I don't think there's anything that tells you that it wasn't recovered by Missouri, and it indeed was a fumble, which was ruled on the field. Just the exact spotting of the football where Mason was once he recovered it.
Yeah, that's Demetrius Mason, who ends up recovering the football that was fumbled by Jamal Brooks. As Missouri continues to try to figure out who the best guys are for a kick return. Those are 2 guys that the coaching staff did not tell us that they thought would be returning kicks, and there they are in the first kick return of the game.
Secret weapons, man.
Yeah.
They won't. I want to tell you everything and reveal the secret weapon before game time.
As you said, I would imagine they're just simply looking at where the
But
spot
how
will be.
about this start for Purdue? And you're on the road, and it's a huge game for their program. I think it's an even bigger, larger game for Missouri in the sense that where they're about to go schedule-wise. But you're going on the road, hostile environment, a tough SEC opponent, and they go right down the field in the first drive.
After review, the runner's elbow was down with possession of the ball at the 27-yard line. Be 1st and 10, Missouri.
Well, they were actually seeing if he was down before the fumble was caused by Barnes.
It's Jamal Brooks, who was the person that fumbled it, but they say his elbow is down. So there's Locke. Just 53% completion on the season. Had a rough go of it last week in the loss to South Carolina.
They will take some shots down the field.
And on the first play, it's Ish Whitter around the left side. Make that Demetrius Mason on a jet sweep. We'll take a look at today's keys to the game, brought to you by Lending Tree. You see what they are there with Missouri hopefully able to run the ball effectively. And that's Mason again to the left side. And give me some thoughts, Andre, today on those keys to the game.
Yeah, for Missouri, they've got to be able to run the football. They ran it so well with Crockett a week ago before his injury. And then for Purdue, They've got to win the turnover battle. Nick Holt told us, hey, we got to cause some interceptions, tip balls, things of that sort, to turn the ball over and get it back in our favor to set up our offense.
Ish Witter is up to the 36-yard line, and it's already 4th down, and it's going to be 4th and over a yard. Is Missouri unable to do much on that first possession, and they'll have to punt.
Yeah, I agree with Barry Odom here. With the ball on this side of the field, you can't get it done on 3rd down. You've got to go ahead and punt it away here.
Corey Fatoni, if he qualified, would be 2nd in the country with a 52.5-yard average. He has a long of 70 so far this season. Jackson Anthrop is back deep for Purdue, and it's another phenomenal punt that Anthrop catches inside the 15-yard line. That is 51 yards in the air. Purdue has the football back, up 7-0 in Columbia. Well, Purdue marched down the field immediately on their first drive of the game.
Yeah, pretty balanced. 5 passes, 6 runs, but you see here a little trickeration in the running game, another pass, and then the big run by David Blau. We're getting Joey Burkett in the air and walking himself into the end zone. 5 passes, 6 rushes on that drive, and then of course the big touchdown run by Blau has capped off a nice start for this Purdue offense.
He did not start the first 2 games, but he did come in relief of Sindelar last week, and in his first 5 drives, the Boilers scored 31 points. Touchdown on their first drive today. And it's DJ Knox, who has no place to go on first down. DeMarcus Acey right there.
Yeah, just to put a bow on what you were talking about with David Blau, he was 11 of 13. That's 84%. 235 yards and 3 touchdowns, and of the 2 incomplete passes, one of them was a throwaway. So he was on fire last week.
Knox in the backfield. Blau throws to Anthrop, and Anthrop immediately tackled by Sherrills, who already made a difference twice.
Yeah, he was a starter earlier in the year last year and then lost his job and fought his way back into the lineup as a big safety, 6 foot, 200 pounds that will flat out hit you when you give him a shot.
3rd and 11.
This is where
Purdue.
Yeah, wanted to stay out of this down and distance, and especially backed up inside their own 20.
Purdue's longest conversion is 10 yards on 3rd down this year. And it's now better than that, as it's an easy first down for Bryson Hopkins out of the backfield, who's been terrific this season.
They run the crossers with a slot receiver and then a tight end. Watch the tight end, 89, come across the formation. Blau stays with him, and then it's turn up and make sure you get the first down. But if it weren't for Anthrop, he may have been still running.
Sophomore from Nashville, Tennessee. His father, terrific man that played in the NFL for a long time that we call B-Hop. Maybe he's B-Hop Jr. 1st and 10, and it's Knox again, and he fumbles the football, and there's a pile for it. It looks like Purdue's on top of it.
Well, you talk about a lucky break. The smaller back, and DJ Knox, just 5'7", 210 pounds, a junior out of Fairborn, Georgia. Right here, the ball, he's hit right on the football. Not sure of the number there. Looks like it may have been
Gregory Phillips, I believe, that recovered it.
Or Thomas Wilson, one of the 2. Had his helmet right on the football.
That's exactly right. It was Wilson, covered by Phillips. Now Blau. Across the middle, it's dropped by Herdman, thrown a little bit behind him. It's 2nd down.
Yeah, 2 tight ends on this Purdue team, on this offense. They're the strength of the offense. You watch the film, and Hopkins, we got a taste of what he can do, and Cole Herdman is equally as good. Both guys see a lot of time. They run 2 tight end formations, and they are excellent route runners with great hands. That one's just thrown a little bit behind Herdman.
Missouri in the neutral zone, but were they drawn off?
False start. Offense number 75. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Shane Evans, the transfer from Northern Illinois.
Got to sit in there. A junior. Good football. He's played some good football early this year for Jeff Brom, and they love to use him in a variety of ways. They'll pull him at times from that guard spot. Allow those big guys to get on some smaller bodies rather than banging in the inside all the time.
2nd and 15. Again, it's underneath, and it's Wright, who's got a first down and more. He's gone. Purdue, touchdown. There is a flag down. In fact, we see several.
You know, a few years ago, there was an emphasis on celebrating before you get into the end zone. I'm not sure if that's what's called here, but he started the celebration very, very early, right around about the 8-yard line where the flag is down. This could be a variety of calls against the Purdue offense.
This obviously coming back as we wait for James Carter to sort it out with his buddies on the field. Wondering how he's so wide open for a touchdown. Here comes your answer.
It's breaking tackles. It's poor tackling on the part of the defense of
There
Missouri.
were 2 fouls on the play. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 9 of the offense. That penalty is declined. That is number 9's first unsportsmanlike foul of the game. Holding, number 78 offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 2nd down.
Yeah, it was coming back because of the holding penalty to begin with, but watch 78 right at the right out in the open field, right about there. There's the hole, and then once he breaks the tackle and gets further down the field, he starts to celebrate right about the 8-yard line, and that got him the 2nd flag.
After all that, it's 2nd and 21 for Purdue. A little bubble, and it's Fuller with plenty of room in front of him back into Missouri territory, breaking tackles down near the 36-yard line.
They are an excellent screen team, and you get in long yardage situations, it's a great play call. The draw play or a screen. You get aggressive rushers up the field. Look at that, just a convoy of offensive linemen. They almost look bored. Nobody to go block. What a play call by Jeff Brom.
24-yard bubble, and that's the 8th first down for Purdue. It's Fuller, and look at him in the clear. Now in the end zone. Purdue rolling at the start.
With just big play after big play. What did Barry Odom talk to us about yesterday? It was giving up the big play. It's called back by the receiver, Terry Wright. They overcome it with a screen pass to Fuller, and then he caps it off with a big run for a touchdown.
That Missouri defense completely out of sorts in the first 9 minutes and change. He gets a block from Steinmetz, the right tackle. Tario Fuller, off of his greatest performance in collegiate history, is on the mark again. Purdue's up 14-0 on the Missouri Tigers, led by Jeff Brom, who played his college football at Louisville for Howard Schnellenberger. He split some time with Browning Nagel, but then came on and had one of the best careers any quarterback's ever had for the Cardinals, as you see all those old school highlights for the 46-year-old. 3 years at Western Kentucky as the head coach. He worked for Bobby Petrino as the quarterback's coach at Louisville, and now at Purdue.
Talk about the effect of Howard Schnellenberger, who Jeff Brom played for. How about that for revitalizing a couple of programs? Coach Brom learning a lot from Howard Schnellenberger.
Mason coming out. And he's tackled around the 23-yard line.
And he's been able to do that wherever he's gone. Jeff Brom, head coach at at Western Kentucky. Very respectable program. They went 30-10 in his time there, winning. That's, you know, a lot of football games. 75% of those were wins. Then he won the conference in 2015 and 2016. Let me tell you something. This is a hell of a football coach right there. You turn the film on, the proof is in the film.
Well, you saw those stats through the 3 years. Last year, they were number 1 in touchdowns, points per games, and yards per play. On fire today with the Boilermakers. All right, time for Drew Lock and the Missouri Tigers to get going. Demarie Crockett, who injured his tailbone in the loss to South Carolina last week with the carry there, maybe for a yard. Marcus Bailey on the tackle in a very quiet Faurot field.
Yeah, trying to get Crockett going. He means so much to this offense, but Purdue right now playing some salty defense inside.
Locke has plenty of time, looks to the sideline, and the catch is made. That is Jamon Moore right near a first down.
He's the team's top receiver and top playmaker, and they love getting him the football. 3 catches, just 29 yards a week ago. Had a few drops in that performance, but against South Carolina, but they do not stop going to him.
101 catches now in Jamon's career, who had over 1,000 yards receiving last season. Mizzou's 0 for 1 on third down, but they give them the first down after a long look at that spot. So a fresh set of downs for the Tigers. To the right.
Oh boy, he's not going to get there.
And he's not going to get the corner, Crockett, that time.
Stringing it out. A nice job by T.J. McCallum, the Will linebacker, weak side linebacker, who's a grad transfer from Western Kentucky, came over with Jeff Brom and played at UAB before Western Kentucky.
Plenty of time for Locke now. He escapes the pocket and throws it away. Nothing doing.
Boy, I mean, nowhere to go with a football. I mean, watch the all-22 as this play develops, and watch down the field. There is nowhere. This is just straight zone coverage. And you see, watch the receiver, nowhere to go.
Intentional grounding. The quarterback was outside of the tackle box and passed across to the scrimmage.
Yeah, nowhere to go with a football for Drew Lock. I mean, that is just excellent defense. He got enough pass rush to force the ball out of his hands, but excellent on the back end.
Juwan Bentley, 3-time captain for Purdue, flushed him out. Now 3rd and 12 rather. Crockett lost 2 yards on that first down play. 4:16 left in the first quarter, and the Boilers already up 14-0. Locke underneath, and he is laid out by Bentley as he completes the pass to Emmanuel Hall. It's 4th down, and he's going to call that incomplete.
Yeah, I'm not sure he held on to it, but you talk about a guy that just took a shot. Hall came up flying. Watch this, waiting in zone. That's why right there, young receivers, when it's zone coverage, recognize it and sit the route down, because that happens if you try to run through zone coverage.
So Fatoni again on for his second punt.
Another one.
Right spot for Missouri so far, and it stays in play at the 4-yard line. That's a 65-yard punt for Fatoni. And again, if he qualifies, he's the best punter in college football in 2017.
You and I were just talking about it. In this season early, he hit one from 70 last week. So, I mean, this guy is unbelievable.
Let's go down to Olivia Harlan.
Thanks, Taylor. Well, at kickoff, it was about 90 degrees, but we have this handy little point-and-shoot thermometer, and on the field, it's about 120. It's actually going down since kickoff. But as you can see, it's over 105 right there, 116. It's hot out there. You have the turf to blame for some of that, but Purdue has not played in a game over 90 degrees since 2011, and Mizzou even chose to wear their gray jerseys today instead of their black. Coach Odom told me before the game he's looking for any help he can get in this heat.
Home team feeling it, but not the team in white, as they've been terrific so far. It's Richie Worship, the fullback, tries to give Purdue a little breathing room.
Yeah, and you would think the heat that Olivia was just talking about would have an effect on Purdue coming down from north of here, and and maybe not quite as adjusted to the conditions. Missouri should be used to this, but it's Purdue that has gotten their foot on the gas here early in on this ball game.
2 yards for the fullback worship. 2nd and 8. And Blau's hot streak continues as he's helped out by Gregory Phillip on the catch.
It's just enough to move him outside the pocket. Jeff Brom understands quarterbacks. He realizes that David Blau is not a big guy. So it's hard sometimes for him to see throwing lanes. So how do you fix that? Move him around a little bit. And that's where he's been precise with the football. Just a little bit of movement, finding a throwing lane, and we know that he can complete passes.
He's 9 for 10 for 99 yards.
Perfect.
20 of his last 23. You go back to last week for that catch of 8 of 7 yards. So it's 3rd and 1 with Worship, the fullback, behind Blau. Instead, it's a sweep to Phillips, and it's an easy first down, and he's got plenty of room to run near the Missouri bench.
Somebody lied to us because we talked to Jeff Brom yesterday. He said, hey, we don't have any speed. They've got football speed because they are just – it looks like a track meet early in the first quarter where one team is severely playing faster than the other.
Are you saying Brom was downplaying his
I think
guys?
he was lulling us to sleep is what I'm thinking.
He's doing the same. Look at those numbers. 9 first downs and 203 yards of offense, and we're still in the first quarter. Empty backfield. Blau feeling the heat and quickly gets rid of it. And look at Hopkins bouncing around Missouri defenders.
But to go back to that point about speed, if you know where you're going and you're running your routes at full speed, that covers up for the lack of just straight, flat out vertical speed. Where if you know where you're going as a tight end, take a look here. You're getting to a spot, you can get there quickly if you know what you're doing and you're very well coached up, so to speak. And I think this group they're hitting on all cylinders here early.
Great hands for Bryson. 5-yard catch. 2nd and 5. Ryan Langford Johnson in the backfield. He is stopped at the 40-yard line.
Well, keep an eye here on 3rd down and about medium. When you watch the film on Missouri, they have a tendency to, even when it's 3rd down and about 4 or 5, that corners will line up deep. And I brought this, you start looking at this, I brought it to your attention. Just watch here on 3rd down the cushion, and maybe Blau goes to one of these guys on a simple little hitch route on the outside. Look at the cushion right here that he's given up. That is easy money because he's going to take a back pedal, 1, 2, 3, shoot it out there, and it's a first down.
Purdue's already 3 of 4 on 3rd down today. 4 of 5. Terry Wright running free inside the 40.
Yeah, there it is. Whether it's wide receiver out wide or the slot, there's just too much cushion. And when you have to take a back pedal, it makes it an easy throw for the quarterback, David Blau.
Purdue has had 17 plays of 20-plus yards already this season, and there's another, as that was 20 yards. Purdue now letting the clock run out as it's down at the 39-yard line.
What a first quarter for this Boilermaker offense. I mean, playing and executing with precision.
What a quarter for the Purdue Boilermakers. On fire with over 230 total yards, 14 points, and marching again in enemy territory.
Dorinoka in studio. We update Auburn and Mercer. Auburn did turn it over once in the first quarter, eventually got it back. Cam Petway, 4 of his 51 yards through quarter number 1. They're into the second now. Auburn up 7-0.
Meanwhile here, Purdue leads Missouri 14-0 at the end of the first quarter. With Andre Ware and Olivia Harlan, I'm Taylor Zarzer in Columbia, Missouri, where it was all Boilermakers in the first quarter. 230 total yards, Missouri with just 17. And Purdue is in Missouri territory again. Blau hands to Worship, the fullback. And he is near the 35.
And they talked about balance in the offense.
Yes.
Before that play, there were 12 passes, 12 runs. You can't get any more balance than that. Now the 13th run by this Purdue offense, that keeps the defense off balance and on its heels when you can execute at the percentage and the high rate that they have here in the first half.
Blau again with another crossing throw to Anthrop, and he makes the catch at the 25 for another first down.
You talked to Barry Odom. He didn't want to give up big plays. Well, they're doing just that. 5 plays of 20 or more yards today. 4 of them given up all of last week by this Missouri defense. So you talk about getting down the field and having the big plays that Missouri just couldn't afford to give up. They're giving them up, and that was all in the first quarter.
Another first down play for Purdue as Blau is flushed out. And he is hit inside the 20 down to the 17 by Therese Hall.
I mean, you talk about pitching a perfect game, a near perfect game. That's exactly what this Boilermaker offense is doing. Keeping themselves in short yardage situations to convert first downs. He took a little bit of a shot there. I want to coach him up to get down and go feet first and not have to take that, but pretty much a perfect first quarter for this offense.
Purdue 10 of 10 in the red zone this season, 1 of 1 today. Anthrop spins around breaking tackles and is inside the 15 for another first down.
Good job there in terms of the tackle and rallying up just a little bit late by this defensive unit. You see Sherrills, who is the starting strong safety there, taking himself out of the game, coming up a little bit gimpy. Can they ill afford to lose him?
While Anthrop, big brother Danny, played here, and he's off to a terrific start in his redshirt freshman season. Out of the backfield, it's Worship. And he is dropped inside the 10 by Markel Etzy. All Boilermakers so far in this one. David Blau 13 of 14 for 140 yards passing, and also has a rushing touchdown to go along with it.
They have been magical on first down. Big success on first downs, and just continuing to put themselves in manageable situations to move the chains.
2nd and 6. Catch by Wright. And Wright's inside the 5. It's going to be 1st and goal inside the 3 as Perkins pushed him out.
How about the block by Jared Sparks? Just gave him enough room to turn the corner and pick up the first down, but asked to be an unselfish player. May have gotten away with a little bit of a hold right here at the end, but just enough to allow Terry Wright to pick up the first down.
Andre, that is 14 first downs.
That's amazing.
13th play of the drive, and Worship is near the end zone. He's in. Worship followed his center, Kirk Barron, and the Boilers are pouring it on.
Just making sure that he indeed crossed, and yeah, he's actually laying on a defender before he crossed over.
Evans for his 3rd extra point. And Purdue's up 3 touchdowns with 11:51 to go in the second quarter. The punishment continues for the Missouri Tigers. All Boilermakers today. (21-0) Purdue Boilermakers here in Columbia, Missouri, with 11:51 to go in the second quarter. So far, this is the drive chart for the Boilers, who have not been stopped.
Yeah, 11 plays, 75 yards. That's a touchdown, ended in a touchdown. 8 plays, 87 yards, all long drives, touchdown. Then the 13-play, 96-yard drive, and ends in a touchdown. That is flat out getting it done offensively.
Purdue's had the football for 14 minutes and 51 seconds. Missouri's had it for just over 3 minutes as that ball goes sailing out of the end zone. Barry Odom in his second season as the head coach. Of course, he was the defensive coordinator for Gary Pinkel in his final season in 2015. Barry's 40 years old. He played here for Missouri for Larry Smith in the mid to late 90s. Had to make a very difficult decision to dismiss a former teammate, Damani Cross, from his duties as defensive coordinator, as Olivia told you about in the open today. He's feeling the heat at the moment after a 4-8 season last year.
And fans thought with 15 starters coming back, this was going to be a year where they turn it around after going 4-8 a season ago.
Drew Locke has that pass deflected at the line of scrimmage by Danny Izichiku.
Izichiku, the defensive end, who is a converted defensive end from linebacker. They were trying to get some more speed on the field, so he's in the game. They moved Jelon Robinson from defensive end to tackle.
Locke on the keeper, and he slides at the 30.
Just to try to get more speed on the field defensively, and it's certainly working out here early in the year for Nick Holt, the defensive coordinator for Purdue.
0 of 2 on third down, and you can feel how big this one is. The Missouri offense must stay on the football field. Option. And right at the first down marker is Okonye makes the tackle on Demarie Crockett.
It's going to be maybe just short of the first down marker. Then maybe take a look. Now they're going to give it to him.
The nose of the football is on the 35-yard line, but Andre, that was close.
Yeah, it was. There on the replay, you certainly see that it was indeed a first down.
Needed that one, just their second of the day. Blocked to the sideline and a couple yards for Mason.
Nice job there by Okonye, Josh Okonye. He's done an excellent job after transferring in from Wake Forest. Had some size. From my place I reside in Sugar Land, Texas.
He sure is. 3 solid seasons for the Deeks before he came over here, as Crockett is tackled by Derek Barnes, and again another quick third down.
Trying to establish some tempo and wear away, and you can still stay with the game plan if you're Missouri. 21-0. You're just thinking, put some plays together, get on the scoreboard, and we're right back in this thing.
Locke flushed out and has to throw it away. Pressure coming.
And I'm thinking this may be a penalty here. He was not outside the tackle box. They're not going to throw it, but I don't know if there was even a receiver. So it certainly looked like intentional grounding.
Jelon Robinson, big dog's kid, a senior, applying the pressure. And it's fourth down. Fatoni's been the bright spot. Has 2 kicks for an average of 58 yards so far in this one. Goes down almost to a knee to field that one. It's another solid punt that's fielded by Anthrop at the 19-yard line. 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. Purdue's up 3 scores. All Boilermakers so far, and a beautiful day in Columbia, but it's hot down there. Let's check in with Olivia.
Thanks, Taylor. Well, the Tigers are without wide receiver Emmanuel Hall. He's in the locker room. They're evaluating his right shoulder. I saw him walk in holding that right arm, shaking his head, looking disappointed. He hasn't come out yet. And on the Purdue sideline, a lot of athletic trainers are stretching their guys out. Seemed to be some cramping in this heat.
Yeah, they miss a lot, Missouri, with Emmanuel Hall. He's probably got the best hands on the team. Played as a true freshman, athletic, mentioned his hands, and just an excellent vertical leap. Not big, but boy, he can actually 6'3". He can really climb the ladder for passes, so they're going to miss him.
Wow. He continues to step back and then just throws it into the turf.
Smart play, trying to set up a screen pass, and Missouri was right there to make things look bad if he tries to force it in. And Marcel Frazier, number 16, I'm going to watch him right in the face of David Blau. Well played defensively.
Only the second incompletion for Blau so far today. 14 of 16.
On that pace of last week, isn't it? With a throwaway to go with it.
.25 of 29 in the last 6 quarters. Draw play and nothing doing there for Purdue, as Mizzou is right there to stop it. That's K-State transfer Caleb Pruitt.
And with David Blau, Jeff Brom he kept waiting on one of these guys to take over, to emerge as the starter at quarterback, so to speak. And with the performance last week of David Blau and then the start that he's on right now in this ball game, I think he's well on his way to establishing himself as the guy for Purdue offensively at that position.
This a 3rd and 9. Pocket collapses, and so does Blau.
Oh, awesome there. Getting to the quarterback. It was Cale Garrett. He's right in the middle of that defense. They decided to bring up some heat, dial up the heat, and there he is right there. Watch him get right to the quarterback. Got him. Times it just right around protection. The guard can't get there. What a play when Missouri needs it to get themselves off the field. 8:45 left here in the first half. A lot of time left.
Shad Floyd back there waiting on this Joe Shopper punt. He too has been terrific this year with a 49-yard average. Fielded at the 47 and dropped. Ball loose. And it appears that Purdue has jumped on it near the 35-yard line. That is Malcolm Dotson that dove on the football after the muff punt.
That is demoralizing for this Missouri team. You finally get off the field. You have a big play and a sack by Garrett, and just unable to judge the football right there. And it may have been one of his own men who bumps into him. His own teammates bump into him. Looked like it was Adam Sparks who helps to cause this fumble, and then all of a sudden it's Purdue's ball with excellent field position.
During the return, holding, receiving team, number 1, that penalty is declined. The result of the play is a turnover and recovery by Purdue.
Yeah, this is kind of rearing its head a little bit too much for Barry Odom. This is second muff punt this year by Missouri.
After you stop them, Andre, the first time on defense where you get a stop and then that happens.
Let me tell you something. Defense right now, they're ticked off, and rightfully so. When you have a play like that to get yourself, 1, you're going to get field position. 2, you just had a big play, one of the best ones in this entire game defensively, and then that happens. You got to go right back on the field.
So a fresh set of downs for Purdue at the Missouri 35. Fuller, and he's got a first down past the 25-yard line as he's tackled by Pruitt. Fuller with 142 yards rushing last week. His career long was 9 yards before last week's win over Ohio, and he had 6 carries for more than that. 11 on that play. On the 25, and Fuller's caught in the backfield on this one. That is Kobe Whiteside, freshman from Ware Country, Houston, Texas.
Let's go back to that last play and watch the unselfishness of the receivers. Right there, look, block. Everybody's on a player defensively. That is giving the running back Fuller a lot of options. I can go inside, outside, pick a place. That's just well coached and a lot of unselfish players.
Pocket collapses for Blau again, and he is sacked by Marcel Frazier. His 11th career sack for the senior from Portland, Oregon.
Yeah, he's the team's best pass rusher, so that's 2 in 2 series to somewhat try to turn the momentum. Watch number 16 right off just kind of work his way inside. There he is, showing up on David Blau's doorstep. Third down and long now, and if you're Missouri, you just want to keep everything in front of you and get off the field here.
Purdue has to get to the 15-yard line for a first down. Empty backfield for Blau. A quick throw, but that is Phillips that has to go to the ground to get it. It's fourth down.
They love their kicker, Spencer Evans. Talking to Jeff Brom, he said, if we get to where it's a 55-yarder, they're going to go with J.D. Dillinger. If we can get to 55 yards, we love him. We'll let him kick one.
Dellinger, 42 yards is his long on the season. This will be 48 from the right hash. And that is wide right. So Missouri dodges a bullet after a muff punt and gets off the field with 5:55 to go until halftime, searching for their first points of the day. David Blau's 15 of 17 for 147 yards, but Elijah Sindelar is warming up on the bench after that last drive. Jeff Brom getting into his quarterback.
Yeah, he doesn't mind, doing that right there when it's needed, and he felt like Blau should have gotten rid of the football a little bit sooner. And Sindelar is a guy that he can go to, and looks as though that's what's going to happen. But he's been winning with both guys, and not afraid to, when he feels like David Blau is going the other way, to sit him for a couple of series and bring Sindelar in the game.
Meanwhile, Drew Lock is just 4 of 8 for 21 yards. He hands off here. That's Witter. Gets up near the 36.
Boy, he has got a jump cut that is out of this world. He can get from one side of the formation to the other quickly.
Some movement at the line of scrimmage.
False start. Offensive line. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Longest drive today for Missouri is 15 yards. This is their 5th drive of the game, Andre. They've got to get some momentum with the football.
Well, this one basically is everybody, with the exception, with the center included. I guess he saw everybody move and tried to protect them a little bit. And again, Paul Adams, the right tackle.
False start. Offense number 77. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
These are the plays that will drive, or penalties that will drive coaches absolutely crazy. You see Barry Odom there. I mean, it's the pre-snap penalties that you cannot live with. It's inexcusable. That's discipline of a football team showing itself right there, or lack of.
More punts than first downs, with 5:15 and rolling in the second quarter. Another underneath handoff to Witter, and another flag comes in at the end of the play.
Usually in the general area of holding.
Holding. Offense number 75. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
It's an offensive line that averages 6'5" and 326 pounds.
Some big boys.
They are the biggest line in the state of Missouri, including the Kansas City Chiefs, who average 316 pounds per person. And they have protected Drew Lock. Only 14 sacks last year, 2 this year, but penalties have been a disaster on these last 3 plays. And again, a whistle.
False start.
False start. Offense number 18. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
That's the 4th straight penalty by Missouri. You see here now the left tackle, Tyler Howell, just started a little bit early.
It's almost like Missouri needs a program timeout at the moment.
Sometimes that's what's called for. Bring them over, settle everybody down, and let everybody kind of clear the air a little bit.
Lock throws, and it's caught by Mason. Gets a big chunk of that yardage back to the 21.
They can get it back in chunks. They can get it in a hurry. And right now, if you want to press the gas, catch Purdue while they're substituting. Out of positions, just snap it.
Airs it out and overthrows Mason.
Well, you get about 3 of those a game where you have a receiver behind coverage and he's just running wide open. You've got to be able to hit those. Those are gimmies. That will get you back in the game. You had Purdue scrambling around trying to substitute out of position. And watch Mason right here go by the cornerback, Akonye. Just a little frustrated.
Another 4th down. Corey Fatoni, who makes a great catch on a bad snap, has plenty of time to get it off. And it takes a Missouri bounce.
Oh, when it rains, it pours.
That was a terrific catch to avoid a safety as it's down to the 27-yard line. That's a 52-yard punt. Just a house of horrors so far today for the Tigers, who are down 21-0.
We will see you for the Auto Owners Insurance halftime report shortly. Dari, Chris, Chiz will show you how A&M used a big second half to pull away. Florida and Tennessee are close at the Swamp. Thoughts on Mizzou?
It's a net performance in all 3 phases, Coach. Yeah, Barry Odom's got to get that thing together. It's an ugly.
It is getting ugly. We'll see you at halftime.
You look great, though, Dari, with Chris and with Coach Chiz.
Thunder up.
That's right. As you see, the last 4 plays, 4 penalties, 25 yards. Meanwhile, Purdue's going to Elijah Sindelar. Started the first 2 games of the year, and he's got a wide open receiver in Cole Herdman streaking near the sideline in Mizzou territory. I call him a receiver. He does play the position of tight end, but he's been a favorite for both quarterbacks so far this year.
Yeah, one a sophomore in Hopkins and the junior Herdman. They ran this play last week. And watch him right here, just out and straight up the seam. And the play fake gonna hold the linebackers. They take a false step up. That allows Herdman to get behind coverage, and delivering the football right on time is Sindelar.
54 yards. That's the 20th consecutive game Herdman's made a catch. And look at Fuller near the 5-yard line. He's banged down there. And Purdue is just gashing Missouri as Fuller is banged up.
How about knowing the pulse of your football team, and specifically in this instance, knowing the pulse of your quarterback? And Jeff Brom felt like things were maybe slipping a little bit for David Blau, and he calls in Elijah Sindelar, and all of a sudden it reignites this offense again that had been stale for a couple of series. Knowing the pulse of your football team as a head coach, what buttons to push, I would say that's important, and Jeff Brom has got a hand on it.
All 4 seasons as a head coach, he has put on a clinic, 3 at Western Kentucky, and his team fought for 60 minutes, losing by a touchdown to Lamar Jackson in Louisville, his alma mater in Indianapolis. Wore out Frank Solich in Ohio last week and went in a victory. And look at this game so far. So Fuller does go to the sideline. You do worry about his head after made a big crash with a Missouri defender near the 5-yard line. As you see, it's Anthony Sherrills. So it's Worship in there for Fuller on this one. It's 1st and goal. Sindelar to the end zone. And it's too far in front of Isaac Zico.
A little bit overthrown. This is a guy, and Sindelar, he's got a big arm. Where he can develop and get even better is the touch on the football. Throws like that where you need to just drop one in a bucket. He wants to throw everything hard and show off that big arm. Well, you learn some touch, and this guy can be magical. That's where that percentage will go way up.
Worship taking on almost all of Missouri's defense is met at the 5-yard line by Hall and plenty of his friends. Worship did break 3 tackles for a touchdown catch last week, but no place to go there.
We saw the all-around game of Fuller. DJ Knox is more of the guy that they like to screen to and get out in space, and then Worship is the big physical short yardage runner who is good around the goal line.
3rd and goal. You see it on your screen there. Purdue's gotten some points every single time they've been in the red zone this season. They want 7, and they get it easily to Jackson Anthrop.
12 trips, Taylor, to the red zone. 12 scores, 9 of them touchdowns, 3 field goals. That, my friend, is production.
Jackson Anthrop with 4 touchdowns in 3 career games. Dellinger's extra point is good. Elijah Sindelar on his first play of the game found Cole Herdman for 54 yards. A few plays later, Purdue is back in the end zone. It's 28-0. Purdue leads Missouri here in Columbia with Andre Ware. I'm Taylor Zarzer. I'm in shock.
Yeah, you and me both. I didn't expect this. I knew it would be an explosive game. Both offenses are capable of scoring a lot of points, but Purdue's defense able to kind of stymie Missouri's offense, and that's been the difference, along with a lot of offensive production.
We've seen Purdue move the ball at will, no matter if it's Elijah Sindelar or David Blau, and meanwhile, it's been a difficult go for Missouri on offense as they have 47 total yards. And they'll start this one at the 25-yard line. Speaking of those QBs, let's go down to Olivia Harlan.
Yeah, Taylor, Coach Braum was quick to congratulate Elijah Sindelar when he got to the sideline. And I've been watching both quarterbacks over here for Purdue, and it's very competitive but equally unselfish. And when coaches come up to either one of them, they say, "Good job, you two." And by the way, that happened before Sindelar went in.
Yeah, it's 2 acting really as 1, and they just kind of balance one another out. 23 plays, 20 pass plays in there, 23 runs rather, and the balance with both quarterbacks have to operate with.
Crockett gets a couple. Missouri on their last 2 drives has had negative yardage each time, -12 and -10. 4 penalties in a row on the last drive. See if they can finish the half with some momentum here. As it's Crockett again, tackled by Bentley.
They need to get him going. I mean, he is a big, important part of Missouri's offense. I know he had the tailbone injury last week and didn't play most of the second half. He was back at practice on Tuesday going full speed, and they'll find a way to get him the football.
Mizzou 1 of 5 on 3rd down. They're going to try the wildcat or direct snap, if you will, to Crockett, and that had no chance.
Well, I tell you what, the defensive line there just got excellent penetration. Lorenzo Neal, all those big guys inside. Bentley crowding the line of scrimmage. Watch the penetration, reestablishing the line of scrimmage, and that allows Bentley to just make a play in the backfield on Crockett. Long day for Missouri fans.
I think that says it all. This is their drive chart so far today. In our open, we told you the top quarterback and running back duo in America, statistically, Locke and Crockett, over 1,000 yards. Entire team with 52 in the first half. And it's another 4th down, with Corey Fatoni punting for the 5th time.
Just 52 total yards in the first half to this point in the game for Missouri's offense. Stunning.
Another good punt. It's fielded at the 27-yard line. Coming up at halftime, you can watch the live performance of the Marching Mizzou Band on SEC Network Plus. Start streaming now on the ESPN app. 1:20 to go until halftime. Purdue up 28-0. Their head coach Jeff Brom calling timeouts so his team can get the football back and do some more damage.
I still say the best call or adjustment he's made in this ball game was when he saw David Blau starting to go the other way, and he didn't hesitate to put in Elijah Sindelar and just reignited this Purdue offense.
This will be the 44th play of the half for Purdue, more than doubling up Mizzou. Hand off to Fuller. And he is hit at the 36-yard line by Pruitt.
Let's go!
You see Sindelar moving the offense with a bit of pace. Purdue still with 2 timeouts. It's Phillips. It's a first down at the 45.
He is a good-looking big quarterback. At 6'4", 230, and you talk about could just lace the football in there. Man, it comes with a lot of RPMs on it. Nice, amazing to watch.
Again, a completion. He's now 4 of 5 as he finds Anthrop inside the 40. Consistent accuracy was his issue. Sindelar coming in, just 19 of 41 on the season, but off to a terrific start as Purdue is approaching at least field goal territory, but that pass is deflected and intercepted. That is Thomas Wilson, and Wilson takes it back near midfield.
You talk about needing that. Now let's see what the offense can do with it. They've had a sack, got themselves off the field, another sack, unable to move the football, and here an interception off the hands of Bryson Hopkins, the tight end, who doesn't put many of them on the ground. I mean, that's usually a sure catch for him. Short, excellent field position, not really short field, but this is excellent field position for Missouri. Maybe, just maybe, they can sneak Mason back deep again, and Locke can connect.
Ishwitter back there with Locke and 4 receivers, 2 to each side. 28 seconds, all 3 timeouts. Locke steps up and throws a rifle to Moore inside the 30.
That's well-timed and well-needed at this point with about 20 seconds left. When they reset the chains here, Barry Odom's going to call a timeout.
First charge timeout, Missouri. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Well-timed timeout.
It's the longest Mizzou play of the day.
See here, it's a nice curl route, a deep curl coming back in, or an in route, nice flat route against zone coverage. And there's what I'm talking about, earlier, where you had a receiver, and I think it was Emmanuel Hall, running through coverage, the zone coverage. You put yourself in position to be hurt, or at least take a big shot. And then there, Javon Moore sitting down in zone and right on time with the football with Drew Locke.
20-yard completion for Josh Heupel's offense. He's the head coach of the offense. He runs practice every day on the offensive side. Of course, quarterback for Oklahoma that led Bob Stoops' team to the 2000 national championship in his second year here in Columbia. And they have been outstanding on offense.
Well, they have. I mean, they've just run into a team that's having a lot of production offensively, that's limiting possessions, and a defense that to this point in the game has gotten itself off the field. First time in Purdue territory.
And it'll be snapped from the 29-yard line. And it's another good catch. And down to the 12 goes Mason with 12 seconds remaining in the half.
I wonder if Mason got himself out of bounds. If not, they need to take a timeout here.
They got 2 left.
Yeah, no doubt. You just take the timeout. You don't have to rush around and lose time.
They lose 4 seconds by not calling it. Go to the end zone, and Mason makes what looked like the catch, but out of bounds with 4 seconds remaining in the half.
That may be the difference in another play. I mean, you allow that time to run out. You can't. What are you going to do with the timeouts in the locker room? Take the timeout, get yourself established offensively, and then come back and run a play. And now you're down to 1 play. It's a total waste of a play going into halftime, and you need it now. You take the timeout. That one makes no sense to me whatsoever.
There's just no way to explain it. You waste 4 seconds. You waste a timeout. Now they do have one remaining, but this almost certainly will be the last play of the half coming up.
You need, when you get down here, the end of a first half, I'll say it on the opposite side, there's never enough points scored in the first half of a ball game. Certainly when you're trying to get back in a game, you need every second, every play to try to close this thing out and to get yourself on the board.
And now they're going to kick the field goal instead of going for 6. So Tucker McCann.
That's the difference. You'd have had another down to maybe have to make this decision had you just called the timeout after the completion.
So this just around 30 yards for McCann. As Purdue will call timeout, just inside the 39-yard line, or 30-yard line, so they'll call it 29 yardage. So Brom wants to make McCann think about it, who has missed an extra point and did miss a 25-yarder last week. But he's come in here with a lot of confidence into 2017 after Barry Odom said he had a terrific camp. He's recruited by some of the top schools in the country at a high school, including Alabama, O'Fallon, Illinois.
Oh, sure. Sorry, Kerry.
Trying to give Mizzou something on the board in what has been a half to forget. So officially 29 yards. And it's through. The Purdue Boilermakers have outscored opponents 59-6 in the second quarter this season.
It's been amazing to watch the operation of Jeff Brom and this Purdue offense.
Let's go down to Olivia with Jeff Brom.
Thanks, Taylor. Coach, you switched quarterbacks after a couple sacks. We knew this was a possibility, but what prompted that change?
Well, that was the plan going in, but David was playing well at the beginning. We didn't have to pump the ball. We had good drives. Stalled there a little bit, so we just stuck with the plan and got Elijah in there, and he did a good job as well.
Do you plan on using both in the second half?
We'll see how it goes. We'll start one of them, see how the flow goes. We got to come out. You know, the first 2 games of the season, we had good first halves and not as good in the second half, so we've got to learn how to finish this game.
Well, your defense have kept the Tigers out of the end zone. How have they kept up with their pace and tempo?
Well, we worked hard at it, and I think we're covering down. We're not giving up cheap plays. We're not letting the tempo affect us. We're making them earn all their completions and yards, and if you do that, it makes it harder on their offense.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
28-3, Purdue leads Missouri at halftime. After the break, Dari, Chris, and Gene have all of the highlights from across the country. All Purdue here. All Purdue in the first half in Columbia, Missouri. They lead the Tigers 28-3. Taylor Zarzer with the 1989 Heisman Trophy winner Andre Ware. We'll see Olivia Harlan in just a moment. How about those Boilers in the first half?
I tell you what, impressive the way they went about their business. Came out the first drive on the road, and they were able to get themselves into the end zone, and then it was basically downhill from there. They stayed on top in this ballgame so far to halftime.
Let's take a look at the highlights so far in this one. Brought to you by Dickies.
Yeah, it was David Blau here getting himself into the end zone. Nice job here with the play fake or the fake pass. And then they come right back with Terrio Fuller. He outspreads the defense to the end zone. They weren't done yet. They found a way to get Richie Worship into the end zone, their short yardage runner, and then a nice easy pass from Sindelar to Anthrop to top off the first half.
I mean, it's just completely lopsided with time of possession. The total yards, 370 to 91. 19 first downs to 4 in a 25-point lead for the Boilers, who had lost 40 of 50 games coming into today.
It was in the Hazel era at Purdue. It was some really, really tough weeks and tough seasons. In a short period of time, Jeff Brom has come in and really put his stamp on this program. Like I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, that you can see it on film just how well coached this team is.
Spencer Evans, a touchback machine, and Missouri will start at the 25-yard line. Just a moment ago, Olivia Harlan with Missouri head coach Barry Odom.
Coach, in your first 2 games, your offense has seen some success. How can you generate something here?
Well, we got to get the first drive going. If you don't go get a first down, then that gets us out of rhythm. So for us, the key here is get the ball, get 1 first down, worry about that, and then get into the drive and the flow of how we want to play on offense.
Very important half coming up here. What was your message?
Well, this got to stay together. We got to find a way to go do it. And we haven't played well on either side. We need to get the ball, focus on 1 play at a time, and see what comes out.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's what he told us last year, he and Josh Heupel, that it's the first down first, and then they get into tempo.
Their best drive of the game on that last little drive with just over 20 seconds to go in the half that led to 3 points. Jonathan Johnson makes the catch there, his first of the day, and it's 6 yards.
To get these receivers involved, get Jamon Moore a few more catches.
The other sideline, and the same kind of result. This one a first down for Jamon Moore, and quickly Missouri's got a first down.
Yeah, right on cue, and Missouri's got the defender down. Like it's DeJuan Hunt. Corner to that side.
Senior from Miami, Florida. Just 18 seconds into this second half.
Working on that, working around the ankle area.
So a couple of quick completions for Drew Lock, 9 of 15 for 84 yards. Let's take a look at what happened to the cornerback for Purdue on that last play.
Just kind of get mixed up in a lot of traffic there. And just kind of gets twisted up right there by the receivers throwing a block for Jamon Moore.
Appears to be his left leg. He is favoring as he comes off the field. The Boilermakers under defensive coordinator Nick Holt already thin in their secondary.
I bet he gets a little tape job, and we see him back in the ball game. Yeah, they'll try. That's good to see.
Kamal Hardy, another player from Florida, will take his place on the field as you see the longtime defensive coordinator all over college football.
Love this guy.
31 years in the game.
I worked with him before, but we met with him last night, and I tell you what, he had my blood boiling. He's got me all hyped up for the game. I was ready to play again. This guy is contagious with his passion for the game of football.
As passionate as anyone you'll ever see in the game. And of course, he spent some time as the defensive coordinator.
15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Oh, late call comes in there. Pass interference going against Missouri as you continue to look at Holt, who, just to finish that off, was at USC, at Washington, at Western Kentucky. But last night he recalled what Andre Ware did to his UNLV running Rebels when he was an assistant back in the day.
He had to bring that up.
He has not forgotten the 69 points you guys scored on him.
Well, I told him, I said, if his quarterback didn't run his mouth, he had a quarterback, Charles Price, from Yates High School, which is about 2 blocks from the University of Houston. And he was at UNLV talking smack all week long. And so that was the result, 69-0.
How about this, Andre? After 2 nice, solid completions for Missouri, they have another penalty. This an offensive pass interference call, and it's 1st and 25 for Mizzou at their own 15-yard line.
It's just things like this, Taylor, that have kind of handcuffed this team. A bad field position, you put your defense in a bad situation, and Purdue's been able to move the football. And it all starts with what this offense has done to this point in the game.
Goes to the sideline and it's picked off. Telegraphs the interception, and it's Marcus Bailey with a flag down.
This is one of the things that when you look at Purdue on offense, they are very unsound in a sense that Drew Lock,
Ineligible receiver, downfield against the offense, number 10. That penalty is declined. First down.
Drew Lock
Purdue.
doesn't have easy throws. Every throw pretty much is out to the numbers, out to the hash, no crossers in front of him where, okay, I've looked at this long enough, let me just check it down. There is no check down. And so you have to throw that football all the way across the field, outside to the hash. Zone coverage, you just play inside out against Missouri. And I'm sure that Nick Holt knows that, which is exactly what he did there, and the result was an interception. You break them down on film, it is some tough throws for whoever's playing quarterback at Missouri. Sometimes you just need an easy one to get your footing and then get yourself going.
Sindelar and Blau both great in the first half. Purdue's first possession in the second half starts at the 2-yard line with Blau at quarterback. Handoff, and it's Fuller who's stopped at the 1.
Well, usually it's big Richie Worship down here that they like. Big fella and the short yardage specialist, but they're going to go with Fuller in this instance.
He is right next to Blau. Gets the football, tries to move the pile, but can't get in. Cale Garrett on the tackle.
It's to a point with Jeff Brom. Comes right back with Blau. He didn't hesitate, let him sit, watch a couple of series, and comes right back to second half and puts him back in the game to start operating again. And now it's the run that they've depended on. Been balanced all game long. Why change it here?
I wonder if Andre can be heard by Jeff Brom in his headset, because now Richie Worship is the fullback in front of Fuller. But it's Fuller again, tries to sneak his head in there, and he will be marked short, 4th down.
He just goes for it here. No hesitation whatsoever. I think you have to. Up 28-3. I think he got in. I think he's just short of the goal line. And now is when you check the big tight end. Hopkins in to get some more size and give it to the big fella, Worship.
Well, Terry Beckner, all-world defensive tackle for Mizzou, has been right in the thick of those last 3 plays. Do they go at him again? Or do they take on one of those tight ends you just referenced?
Missouri's going to spend a timeout here, Barry Odom, to try to make sure he's got the right play call in for the defense.
First charge timeout, Missouri.
Looked like they might have had 12 men on the field. Our day of college football continues with our SEC Saturday night games presented by Holiday Inn Express. Kentucky takes on the Gamecocks at Williams-Brice Stadium at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And on the SEC Network alternate channel, we'll have Samford and Athens take on the 13th ranked Dogs. To find the SEC Network alternate channel in your area, go to secnetwork.com/channel. And both are also streaming live on the ESPN app.
That'll be a good one, Kentucky and South Carolina. Kentucky's going to have to get out the gate sort of like Purdue, or at least get some early scores to keep pace with a South Carolina offense that with Deebo Samuel, he can strong arm you a little bit if you kick to him or they get him the ball in space.
Fuller and Worship in the backfield with Blau. Fakes, throws to Worship, easy walk-in touchdown.
Offside. Defense, number 16. That penalty is declined. Touchdown.
Well, they went to it and found Worship in another way. They had him in at fullback. You're thinking he's going to lead block for Fuller. Well, they fake it to Fuller and then leak the fullback out. Big fella shows you he's got some hands as well.
10 touchdowns. They've scored all 13 times they've been in the red zone this year. You think Jeff Brom makes a difference calling plays?
Just understands the football team.
35-3 with Evans' extra point. Drew Lock threw the interception to Marcus Bailey. 4 plays later, Purdue's back in. All Boilermakers 35-3. You guys might forget about the consistency of Purdue's program. About 20 years ago, they went to 8 consecutive bowl games from 97 to 04. Look at that, finishing in the top 25 in the Drew Brees era, culminating with that Rose Bowl appearance in 2000. But the 21st century has been an absolute mess for Purdue. They have lost 40 of their last 50 games since the start of 2012. You see it there, their record in the last 9 seasons, just 1 bowl appearance, and they were 7-6 that year. But they are turning it around with Jeff Brom.
A couple of guys with some recognizable names like Joe Tiller and Drew Brees.
Another injury update. Let's go down to Olivia.
Taylor, Purdue cornerback DeJuan Hunt is good to go after leaving the field on that last drive. That's important for this defense. His head coach told us last night he's a big-time leader for us. And not so good news, Missouri wide receiver Emmanuel Hall is not expected to return, bruised right shoulder.
It's a playmaker that they're down, the junior from Franklin, Tennessee. He complements Moore and Mason not as well as anybody on that team.
Crockett near the 27-yard line.
Crockett just can't get himself going. I mean, you look at the line, just watch the line of scrimmage and watch who's moving who. And it's been Purdue that's been across the line of scrimmage getting penetration for much of this game.
Locke drops the football, and it's recovered by Purdue. He saw the rush coming and simply dropped the football, and Kai Higgins recovered it.
Yeah, he just froze. Just froze, maybe thought he was going to get away with an incomplete pass, but let's check it out here. Pressure right away. Tried to reel it back in, and by then it was too late. Higgins with a fumble recovery. Right off the edge, unblocked, just lost it. If you've ever played quarterback, you've done that, where you try to just hold one in, and all of a sudden it ends up on the ground. But more than 9 times out of 10, it's when you're trying to deliver the ball and it slips out of your hand, so it's still an actual pass. Long day for Missouri fans.
Just wanted to make sure that this is a fumble. There's no question the ball slips out of his hands, but with those new rules, sometimes.
Yeah, I think he's trying to actually reel it back in and maybe try to throw it again. As he's trying to reel it in, it comes out.
There's some Oakland Raiders fans that still cringe every time you see something like this.
Just about identical to that
tuck rule with Tom Brady.
Just about identical to that one.
They are taking a good look at this. The Boilermakers are up 32, and if the call stands, they'll have the ball at the 22-yard line. And if they start this possession at the 22-yard line, that'll be the second best field position they've had in the second half. Their first drive started at the 2.
I mean, short field, frustrating day, and another turnover. Defense is right back on the field. I think it's a fumble all day.
Ball slipping out of Drew Locke's hands, but if they've seen enough here, they could overturn the call. Locke had 766 yards passing coming into today, 74 yards and an interception in this one so far. It appears James Carter, today's referee, has had a conversation with the guys upstairs.
After review, the quarterback's arm was moving forward and the ball came out. Therefore, it's an incomplete pass. It'll be 3rd down and 7 on the 28-yard line. Game clock operator.
Don't you dare.
Please reset the game clock to 12:09.
Don't you dare ask me for a comment there. Don't you dare. I think I already voiced it.
I wanted to know if someone in Birmingham reviewing this is named Tom Brady.
Oh, my goodness. We play on.
So Mr. Locke gets a reprieve.
I'm a quarterback, and I would, I want to give credit where it's due, but man, that's a tough one there.
3rd and 7. Zoo just 1 of 6 on 3rd down. Locke's got time. And he throws it into traffic.
And a little interference coming over the back a little early.
As it was intended for Jamon Moore with Josh Okonye there in traffic, and the flag does come in.
It's kind of to my point I made earlier. It said, 3rd down.
Pass interference. Number 8 of the defense. Spot foul. Automatic 1st down.
You got guys so wide. You want something in front of you, an easy throw. Even that one is a tough throw trying to get it to Jamon Moore. You see it way out by the sideline. You got to wait, and that's just flat out pass interference. Right around the waist he's grabbing.
Clock pumps. On the sideline incomplete. Drew had 7 touchdown passes against Missouri State, which tied an SEC record 2 weeks ago. 815 yards of total offense, but last week just 14 of 32 against South Carolina, 2 interceptions. Just 74 yards passing and a pick today.
Well, the last 2 plays, seen Eddie Wilson pressure on the quarterback in the face of Drew Lock, and that incompletion, and then there defending the run. Showing his all-around ability on the defensive line.
3rd and 8. You saw the graphic that we had up against Power 5 competition. It's been a different kind of battle for Locke as opposed to the non-Power 5 opponents. And he scrambles here and throws to Moore, incomplete, out of bounds, 4th down.
And they're really not known for their pass rushing prowess, but they've been able to get in the face. Big Jelon Robinson with pressure there. Before it's Wilson. They've done a heck of a job of just disrupting the rhythm of Drew Lock, or really not allowing him to get into really any type of rhythm throwing the football today.
5 punts for Corey Fatoni, one of the best in the country, and a 50-yard average. Just as impressive as he never allows the opposition to get a shot, and this one is down at the 2. Look at that walk-off ball from Fatoni. Someone is having fun for the Missouri Tigers today. That is a 54-yard punt. Alton at the 1, down sit.
Love it.
Dory Noka in studio. We update Florida, Tennessee. You know, it's been over 120 football minutes since Florida scored an offensive touchdown. In that stretch, they've scored 3 defensive ones. 2nd of the season for C.J. Henderson. Gators up 13-3, early 4th, guys.
What a tough few weeks it's been for the Sunshine State, and I know they were fired up to have the home opener today. They lost the game with Northern, were not allowed to play the game with Northern Colorado due to the weather. Home opener today, up 10 on the Vols. Purdue starting at their own 2, and Fuller quickly gives them some breathing room with a 9-yard gain.
Nice block by Shane Evans and Grant Hermans, the left guard and left tackle respectively, to open things up and give Fuller some breathing room to move the chains a little bit here. He can open up a little bit.
Here's Blau again.
There's that cushion. Again outside. Right up there, big cushion.
Easy 1st down for Tario near the 19-yard line.
You got to respect it if you're a linebacker, that he could go there and there's just one false step and then it'll allow, before you know it, Fuller's in your chest. They've done one heck of a job with This offensive line kind of remade this year by Jeff Brom, and I'll tell you what, it's going to meet his satisfaction today.
They thought Markel Jones was their top tailback coming into this season. He had an injury on a kick return against Louisville in their first game, and Fuller has emerged as the #1 tailback on the depth chart as Anthem takes the sweep.
There's an example again of being coached up well. Anthem doesn't try to continue to string that thing out for no gain and maybe try to pop a big one. What he does is, okay, I've gone far enough. Let me turn up the field and get anything positive that I can, and that being about 3 yards.
Hopkins out in front, and Blau throws it too far in front of him.
Good pressure off the edge, right in the face of David Blau. It was Marcel Frazier. Right there, and just navigates through right to the quarterback. Forces him to get rid of that thing early to Hopkins.
Preseason All-SEC Marcel Frazier does have a sack today, and
great size, 6'5".
See all the watch list.
265.
Third and 7, and it's caught by Mahungu.
Just short of the first down marker. Good job by Logan Cheadle, rallying up, making a nice tackle to hold him short of it.
Well, 4th and 1 at their own 27. Last week, Purdue, up several scores, did go for it on their own side of the field, but they won't do it here.
Looked like Jeff Brom was thinking about it for a second.
He sure wanted to. Joe Shopper will kick it deep to Rashad Floyd, who dropped one earlier. One punt for Shopper, it was 44 yards. Takes a great Purdue bounce. And it will be downed at the 10-yard line. That is 63 yards. Both punters as good as it gets in college football. Clayton is bringing you a look at how Missouri fans have it made. The Tailgate Concert Series, new to the university this year, as they highlight a nationally prominent music artist each home game after the Tiger Walk on game day. See all the food options you've got. Bounce house for the kids. Putting up a few shots beforehand.
That looks good.
How did we miss this?
How did we miss that on the way in?
This week the band Wilder was playing, an alternative folk rock band out of Nashville. A lot of great things to do in a beautiful college town of Columbia, Missouri. I know they wish their football team would play a bit better than this, down 35-3. And Drew Locke has a completion to Jonathan Johnson. 6 punts, an interception, a fumble today for Missouri. They averaged 619 yards of offense coming in. As they give it to Witter on the ground, he gets up near the 29-yard line. And going into that play, they had 111 total yards.
Wow. It's a tough way to go about it.
Get plays off as quickly as any team in the country as Mason drops that one.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. Even the play before that he completed it, it's just tough to complete passes way across the field like that. The punting yards and then the total offense for Missouri today should not be that way.
No, never a good thing. Did have Fatoni walking off some Phil Mickelson-like tour sauce on the last punt.
Oh, what a stop.
That is Lorenzo Neal.
Got
and if
in
that
there.
name sounds familiar, yes. He is the son of the fullback that played 16 years in the National Football League, one of the best fullbacks we've ever seen. And Neal was ejected in the first game for targeting on a questionable call against Louisville a couple of weeks ago, but he's a smart player. 3rd and 13. And Locke throws it into the Boilermaker bench.
He was in on that one in the pass rush, flushing Drew Lock out of the pocket. Excellent penetration the play before to slow down the ball carrier, and then there penetrating through, getting some nice push inside and forcing Drew Lock to get rid of the football. That's a nose tackle, chasing down the quarterback.
So here's for Tony. It's been terrific. Lone bright spot. This one is caught at the 34-yard line. The ESPN app is a fan's best friend. Stream every ESPN and ABC college football game live at home or on the go. You'll get access to scores, news, and highlights all season long. Download the ESPN app to start streaming now. See Ohio State's up 17-7 at halftime on my ESPN app. Taking a look at this Auburn-Mercer score. The Tigers up 2 touchdowns in the 3rd quarter, but just 17-3, still searching for some offense. Wisconsin rolling against BYU, 38-6. And that Florida-Tennessee game, I know Dari's been telling us about it, 13-3.
13-3 in that game.
And thanks to Mr. Ware's ESPN app, we watched Memphis beat UCLA earlier today.
Tough trip for UCLA. Negative body clock.
Wow, easy catch made by Jared Sparks, and he is the 3rd quarterback who also will play some receiver. Sparks' brother, Adam Sparks, plays for Missouri. House divided today.
Yeah, I was wondering if we were going to see that matchup, Sparks against Sparks, the redshirt freshman and the true freshman, Adam Sparks, lining up against his brother.
We just saw some of the family out there wearing Purdue shirts.
That's pretty good.
I was talking with Adam yesterday. He said the trash talk has been at an all-time high. 2nd and 4. This is Langford Johnson, who is stopped back there as the flag goes down by Cale Garrett.
A little offsides here. Frazier, I think, got a head start and couldn't get himself back.
Offside. Defense number 16. 5-yard penalty. Results on a 1st down.
We were showing Jared and Adam Sparks' family just a moment ago from just outside of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, as you see both of them. As Jared stays on the field, and again, he can play some quarterback, did last week in the victory against the Ohio Bobcats. It's now the 12th different receiver that Purdue has used this season. As Blau goes deep. And it was Phillips that beat the defense, but it's overthrown.
He's a guy that runs some precise routes, have blazing speed, but that's how he gets himself open, is that he is meticulous about route running. Gets himself good separation for the quarterback. He's an easy guy to throw to. See him here, nice little out and up, and that's what I mean by precise. There's no false step in that route. Just put it in the ground, turn out, and then right back up.
It's the 4th incompletion for Blau today. Ryan Langford Johnson, the sophomore from Melbourne, Florida, that uses the spin move to get a few.
Yeah, he's probably the speedster of this running back by committee, so to speak. We've seen Fuller, Knox, Worship, and now Langford Johnson. He's going to be a good player, 6 foot, 190 pounds, out of St. Paul, Minnesota.
While continuing to look over at his head coach, Jeff Brom, with the play clock down at 5 on this 3rd and 9. Nice catch. But could be short for Mahungu.
And it could. Jeff Brom could entertain going for it here. He's He's trying to press the gas a little bit. There's no need to send Shopper on the field this instance. He's going to go for it here, checking in the big tight end Hopkins. I agree with this one. 4th and 1, the way they've run the football.
They're 3 of 4 on 4th down this year, and I mentioned last week went for it on their own 39-yard line.
Fearless.
This one from the Mizzou 45. No problem.
Best play in the playbook.
Do a quarterback sneak when you need a yard and you get 6.
Yeah, and the reason why I say that is you don't allow for penetration. You get your offensive line firing off the football. The quarterback's not taking it deep to the running back that allows for anybody to get off a block. It's just, hey, let's push our way to a first down and move the chains and keep the drive going.
Starting to use as much clock as necessary. Draw play to Langford Johnson.
Nowhere.
Might have gotten a yard.
Excellent job around the line of scrimmage by this front 7 for Missouri. They got penetration there. Stop Langford Johnson right in his tracks. Nowhere to go.
Just wonder how difficult of a week it's been for some of these Missouri players, especially on defense, losing a guy that was beloved in Damani Cross.
Yeah.
You know, as Olivia told you, that Barry Odom has been calling the defense since the middle of last season, but you can't find anyone in Columbia, Missouri to say a bad word about Damani. He was a player here and created some great relationships with his players. Nice catch made by Corey Holmes.
That's well stated. I think it was hard on both, Cross and Odom, to go through what they went through this past week, and they're both being so connected to the Missouri football program. You know, it's kind of a head scratcher, honestly, when he gets dismissed and he's not the play caller. So that's not going to fix the production on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, we mentioned Jared Sparks can play some quarterback. Here he is. Wildcat. First down. There's the family. Some of them need to stop looking at their phones and watch their guy in the game.
So good. Just find a way to get him involved on the offensive side. Jeff Brom told us he was going to try to find, if things were going well, he would definitely get some time. He's a talented young man in his own right.
It again, and is not going to get out of the hands of DeMarcus Acey, was the first one to him. And Chris Turner, of course, was there to clean it up. Adam Sparks is not out there, at least was not on this last play, but said that he was hoping to get a chance at his brother, Jared, today. Jared will go out on a passing situation now, 2nd and 14. Blau back in.
Yeah, this is where Missouri, they got to get off the field. Find a way to stop him here, and then on 3rd down.
And down goes Blau. Terry Beckner with the sack, but there is another flag down.
There's our guy that we talked about at the top, in Beckner, and he's showing up now.
Torn ACL in each knee each of the last 2 years, preseason All-SEC.
Finally getting to where he's comfortable playing on those babies.
Holding. Offense number 79. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
You see him right in here, just kind of gets right around. There, nice play off the block, and then right in the Blau.
3rd and 19 with a minute left in the third quarter. All Boilermakers from the word go.
That's some pretty good quickness by Beckner. Got it with his size, over 300 pounds.
Langford Johnson gets it back near the 30 with Jordan Harold, former walk-on, now team captain for Mizzou, making the tackle.
They had to know it was coming because that's what they ran earlier in the ball game and converted on a 3rd and long.
Now they're going to it. Spencer Evans, who we were told was the longer
He's tricking the broadcast team.
They are today. Here he is. This is a 47-yard attempt. His long on the season is 38. He did attempt a 50-yarder at Baylor 2 years ago. And this one hooks to the left. So with 3 seconds to go in the third quarter, Purdue in total control in Como.
Dari Noka in studio. Guys, watch what happened in Gainesville here. The true freshman Malik Davis breaks one off to the races to put Florida up 20-3. But the big senior Justin Martin catches it from behind, knocks the ball out at the 1 through the back of the end zone. Ensuing Vols possession, John Kelly touchdown, 13-10 now.
Wow.
Wow.
How about that?
What a turn of events.
That is calling never giving up.
That will be recognized in film breakdown. No doubt about it. Good job.
It's a 3-point game instead of a 17-point game. It's the last play of the third quarter. And Larry Roundtree gets the carry. All Boilermakers today 35-3 over the Missouri Tigers. Back for the fourth quarter in Como in just a moment.
Our country could learn from the game of football because diversity is also what makes the United States special. Football teaches life. And to me, what makes football the greatest game in the world is that it teaches us to love one another.
It's one of the best speeches you'll ever hear a college football player give. And I would encourage everyone to go give it a listen, as he gave that in July of this past year in Indianapolis. Quarterback for the Purdue Boilermakers having quite the day today is Drew Lock and the Missouri Tigers back on offense, and another option pitch to Larry Roundtree.
Yeah, just attack the end man on the line of scrimmage, and if he takes the pitch, man, Lock's going to keep it. If not, go ahead and give it to him and let him run with it. There, Purdue did a nice job of just stringing the thing out.
3rd and 8. Too far in front of Demetrius Mason. It's Kamal Hardy down there, the Purdue defender, with him. And it's 4th and 8.
They told us Hardy would play. Give Hunt some time and spell both these corners at times. And there he was just step for step with Mason.
Fatoni's had a terrific day. 7 punts for 49 yards. Jackson Anthrop with a lot of fair catches, but wants to give this one a go, and that was a bad decision.
Man, it takes some courage to be a punt returner. Eyes away from oncoming traffic. You got to field it, navigate, and if it's timed just right, you know you're going to take a shot, as he did there.
Tavon Ross.
Look at the eyes, the concentration away from guys running down full speed. That's the end result when you have no room to work with.
9 different rushers today for the Boilers. 14 different receivers have caught a pass. 427 total yards of offense. Jeff Brom putting on a clinic calling plays as the head coach at Purdue. With a little help from his brother Brian, the offensive coordinator, Tario Fuller gets the carry there, and he'll get a couple yards.
A little football in the blood of the Brahms, you might say.
There's two of his brothers on the staff, and I love what he said to us in our meeting yesterday. He said, I hear it from everyone in my family after every game. No one in the Brahm family is shy about advice.
Well, I think it helps you as a coach because it gives you a different way to really think about things and assess and going forward. Okay, this guy's not being used enough, or we could maximize in this area by doing something a little different.
Catch by Zico. Here's that Brahm family tree, beginning with Oscar playing quarterback in the late 60s. Then to Greg for the Cards in the early 80s, right before Jeff. And Brian Brahm finished his career at Louisville 10 years ago. And, of course, he's the co-offensive coordinator on the staff now with Jeff.
Yep.
And his
big connections to Louisville.
His brother Greg writes up a note on every single game of what went right, what went wrong. Ruthless information, Jeff said after the game.
Some things in there that he didn't think about that he had to go back and reassess a little bit.
Anthrop tries to dive forward, right at the sticks.
Because again, instead of trying to bounce it outside and hit the big play, just take a couple of yards and get yourself down and protect the football.
It is a first down.
Look at this thing, Fuller. Tario Fuller has more total yards in the entire Missouri offense. 124 to just 119. Tough afternoon for Missouri.
And still over 12 minutes remaining in the game. Tario might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, nice job there by Burkett. Sliding outside, squaring his shoulders up, and then teeing off on Fuller.
It's been a Chamber of Commerce type day in terms of the weather. A little hot. Temperatures in the mid-80s, but Blau will air it out. And too far in front.
You always have to think as a receiver that you're going to get the football. You can't cut your route off, can't slow up, which is exactly what happened there. It's kind of throttled down a little bit, and then all of a sudden the quarterback, David Blau's coming to you late.
It's Benaiah Franklin in his first action of the season.
I always think you're getting the football. I guarantee you that one will be pointed out on Monday.
Second charge timeout,
or Sunday,
Missouri.
when they watch the film.
This will be a 30-second timeout.
Back in just a moment in Como. Purdue's had some great tradition of great quarterbacks through the years, beginning with Lynn Dawson. Of course, he would go on to win a Super Bowl with the Chiefs. Bob Greasy, a couple with the Miami Dolphins. Gary Danielson is calling good one in Gainesville today. Jim Everett, great career in West Lafayette. And, of course, Drew Brees, who will be headed to Canton in a few years.
Mark Herman, Kyle Orton. I mean, the list just kind of goes on for Missouri. I mean, for Purdue.
I think all of them are jealous of the way David Blau's played the last 2 weeks.
They expect it.
22 of 27 today, and he runs for a first down there on 3rd and 11.
They expect that type of production because it has now become tradition at Purdue for quarterbacks to play well. You see him here, nice heads-up play, heavy pass rush early, pull it down. He's capable of doing this, and protects the football as he falls forward for the first down.
33 of 40 in his last 2 games.
That's cooking. That is cooking. He was 84% last week in a win over Miami University in Ohio.
And this is a guy that has 31 career interceptions and suddenly has found his way in the Brom era. It's just amazing what quarterback coaching can do.
I wonder why. All of a sudden here comes Jeff Brom, who understands how to coach quarterbacks. Here comes a system that is quarterback friendly, and then this kid turns his entire career around. And that's straight up coaching right there.
Second and 9 for Blau at his own 42-yard line with just 10 minutes remaining.
Now they're in no hurry. Just trying to get this play clock down to about 5 seconds before the ball is snapped.
Toss to Fuller. He might get a yard. Today as you were analyzing Blau's work, what might have been most impressive to me, Andre, was the time he threw it into the turf when he had nothing. And you said that's a smart move. The last 2 years, the guy's thrown 31 interceptions. In the past, as a sophomore or as a freshman, I think that ball goes sailing down the field somewhere and could have been picked off.
No doubt about it. Take a look at what Jeff Brom did with his quarterbacks at Western Kentucky. Completion percentage just about almost 70%, 131 touchdowns and only 25 interceptions. You're going to win a lot of football games if you're getting that kind of production out of that position.
And Fuller can't make the grab too far in front of him, and it'll be 4th down.
I mean, that is unbelievable. Just take another look at that. That is unbelievable. 69%, 131 touchdowns, and only 25 interceptions. And today, between both quarterbacks, they're completing at a percentage of 75. That's amazing. This guy can coach quarterbacks. If you can coach quarterbacks, you get that kind of production, it turns into wins.
Shopper with another really good punt. It's angled out of bounds. And it'll be marked out at the 27-yard line. 8:48 left, all Purdue.
Well, with a score like this, you're either very happy or very frustrated. And if you're kind of both, you probably have a son who plays for both teams. So I'm with the Sparks family, and that's exactly their situation. Dad Kenyatta and Mom Janelle. Now, Kenyatta, you trained both of your sons. So do you watch them play a little bit differently?
Yeah, one of the things, man, with training both of them, man, it's just an opportunity to see that gift that both of them have. It's a little bit different with playing quarterback, but the biggest thing is I get to train both of them, and they both train athletically, so that means Jared is able to do both. And you see him doing quarterback and wide receiver, but it's just a blessing, man.
Yeah, you got to be proud of that versatility with Jared especially. Now, Mama, you were just hoping they'd both get in and they'd both be healthy, so you're happy, right?
That's right. They made us nervous a little while ago. They were lined up, but it was cool to see. It was really fun. So,
what are your emotions just with the score especially? Who do you cheer for?
Well, it comes and goes. It depends on how the game's going. So we just want teams to do good. I mean, we support till the end. So no matter the score, we're still cheering for the guys to do good. So
let's show off these shirts. The Purdue, Mom Janelle made these, and they play again next year. So pretty good investment.
That's right. Yep.
Will your emotions be different this time next year?
I don't know.
It's a little experience, but hopefully we just want to make sure that they stay healthy, you know what I'm saying, and just make sure they have an opportunity to get on a platform like this and show their abilities.
Now let's give a shout out to Sister at home. She's having a watch party, so everyone at home.
How you doing, Kia? What's up, Ronnie? What's up, KJ?
Awesome.
That's great stuff.
That's awesome there. That is awesome.
We had such fun visiting with them yesterday, and they were so excited to have their two boys on the field today. You hear that Louisiana accent. Kenyatta, he was a college athlete himself at Southern University.
I'm
And
gonna have some Louisiana food tonight.
that would
Tell
be
you
nice.
that as I watch the games.
I would love to hang out with them and eat some Cajun
doubt
food
about
tonight.
it.
That would be great. Fair catch by Anthrop. Purdue will get the football back up 35-3. Jared Sparks on top. Allstate is proud to be part of the team that comes together to do good by contributing to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kick. To date, Allstate has contributed millions in scholarship funds. 7:41 to go before the Purdue Boilermakers will walk out of here with a victory. Elijah Sindelar, who started the first two games, coming in out of the bullpen today, 4 out of 6 for 85 yards and a touchdown. David Blau, 22 of 28 passing, touchdown in the air and on the ground. And Langford Johnson will get a few more. The Missouri Tigers are going to fall to 1-2, and next week they welcome the Auburn Tigers to town. Auburn's still trying to find their way offensively in a closer than we thought
against Mercer.
Game against Mercer. Then they're at Kentucky after an open week, at Georgia. The Vandals come here on October 21st. And then they're at the Huskies.
That is a tough schedule, my friend, the next about 4 weeks in there. A couple of big boys. Kentucky is playing as well as anybody in the East.
Langford Johnson wrapped up by Marcel Frazier, who's still playing hard in the fourth quarter. That's a tackle for a loss. Meanwhile, Purdue, now I don't know if I'm willing to call this just yet, but I'm thinking about it. They host the Michigan Wolverines next week in West Lafayette, and the biggest game Purdue has hosted in years.
And it's homecoming.
It's homecoming. And Michigan is still trying to find their way offensively.
Struggled a little bit today against Army. They've got enough offense. It's, I think, on the defensive side, can you hold up or stay toe-to-toe with Michigan? But I think they're going to score on Michigan. There's no doubt about it. And Jeff Brom will have his team prepared.
I don't know if I'm asking Coach Corso to say boiler up on game day in Manhattan next weekend, but they've got a shot for sure. Then it's P.J. Fleck rowing the boat to West Lafayette after an open week. At the Badgers, at the Scarlet Knights. And Nebraska lost to Northern Illinois today.
People are upset for the Cornhuskers right about now. That is a tough schedule, though. I think it could be managed when you look at Minnesota. Maybe they're going to play hard, and then can they get through Michigan and Wisconsin? That will tell you a lot about the Boilermakers this year.
It's another terrific punt by Shopper that's caught inside the 15-yard line. Our day of college football continues with our SEC Saturday night games presented by Holiday Inn Express. Kentucky takes on the Gamecocks, listens to Sandstorm blare at Williams-Brice Stadium at 7:30 Eastern. And on the SEC Network alternate channel in the Hedges in Athens, Samford is there to take on the 13th ranked Bulldogs. To find the SEC Network alternate channel in your area, go to secnetwork.com/channel, and both are also streaming live on the ESPN app. Do not kick it to Debo tonight, Kentucky.
How about that? Who else wants some of Debo? Huh? They know about Debo around here. Kentucky may find out about Debo. They'll strong arm you. You don't mess with Debo.
I don't think anybody on Kentucky is named Craig. Jonathan Johnson with a catch and first down.
I tell you what, if he's not on your Heisman list, then you have not watched college football, and you don't have an appreciation for anything other than quarterbacks. Shame on you.
Lock still in there. Circus catch made by Jamon Moore.
The last time, here's a little trivia for you. When's the last time? We'll watch this catch here by Jamon Moore over the shoulder. He's kind of bending away from the defender, Hardy. This kid is an outstanding player. He gets lost at times, but when they go to him, gets it done.
25-yard catch, and then that was telegraphed into the Purdue secondary.
Here's some trivia for you. When was the last time Purdue started the season 2-1?
To go into the
It's been a little while
crack
ago.
stat research department for that.
2012 to be exact.
5 years.
They started 3-1 that year. So this is a team that's well on its way.
See the graphic there, losing 40 of their last 50 games as Ish Witter gets the carry. I did want to mention that last play when almost intercepted by Josh Hayes off the bench for Purdue. Now 3rd down. As Andre said, this is the time of the game you have to look at the numerical roster in front of you. Inside the 30, down to the 29 is Witter.
Because you know now that if you're Purdue and you're Jeff Brom, you're trying to get some experience for your players. Longest road non-conference margin, largest non-conference margin of victory, 34 points. That was UCF some time ago.
To the end zone, Jamon Moore has it wrestled away by Kamal Hardy, and he's going the other way. How about that effort by Hardy to give Purdue the football back?
He can never relax, and I think Jamon Moore may have relaxed thinking that Hardy had given up on the play, and instead of it being a touchdown, Hardy comes away with a big-time interception. Purdue still up 35-3 here in Como.
The entire Purdue team today has played so hard, and even up 32 with 4 minutes to go in the game. Here's an example. Kamal Hardy taking the ball away from Jamon Moore.
Yeah, this is just an effort play where who wants it? Do you want it or do I want it more? And right there, Hardy seems to want the football a little bit more than Jamon Moore.
Well, the Sparks family is paying close attention here because there's young son Jared running for a 1st down around the left side into the Missouri bench.
Well, and you see why Jeff Brom has just kind of found a place to get him on the field and get the ball in his hands at times because he's so electric, so fast, so quick. And he's going to have to bide his time at quarterback, but he's playing like this, he's going to get some mop-up duty, but also continue to get game experience as a receiver.
It was a 12-yard run for Sparks on that last one. So work on that clock with just under 3.5 minutes left. And one of the worst Missouri losses at home in program history. They'll get about a yard. In fact, their worst home non-conference loss was 1944 to a program called Iowa P-Flight. They lost 51-7 that day, so about 44, down 32 here. And you think about what this program was a couple of years ago,
right,
when they were in the SEC championship game in consecutive years.
It speaks volumes of what Coach Pinkel meant to this Missouri Tiger program.
And Barry Odom still is leaning heavily on Coach Pinkel for big picture items. Says he's talking to him still quite a bit. Of course, it's glad to hear Coach Pinkel is doing well, living here in the area. Barry said for football talk, he talks often to Justin Fuente, the head coach of Virginia Tech, who was the head coach at Memphis a few years ago when Barry was the defensive coordinator there.
Two are very close, and we trust Coach Pinkel. We talk about relationships, recruiting, because you can't be the head coach of Missouri that long and not have a bunch of relationships and know where to go to get players that fit the Missouri way, and then schematics, different things of how to scheme up different personnel and things of that sort. He's right, he's close. He can get to his office and inside of 5 minutes or so. That's a definite deal that he needs to continue to capitalize on.
Yeah, we got some good ones tonight. You see at the top of your screen, and of course outside the SEC, Clemson and Louisville. 3rd and 5, Sparks to the corner. And it'll be marked just about a yard and a half shy. All right, I'm putting you on the spot. Clemson or Louisville tonight? Who you got? Lamar or the Tigers?
That's a tough one. I don't know that Louisville's going to have enough defense to contend with what Clemson can do offensively. And I think it'll be a close football game, but I'm going to take Clemson in that ball game.
Cowbells or LSU?
Oh, LSU big. He's got to prove. Nick Fitzgerald. Sorry, Kevin. Nick Fitzgerald has just got to prove to me that he can play in a big game, and it's a big one tonight.
Terrific stats position. Kevin Maloney is a Mississippi State Bulldog, and he's nervous about that one tonight.
He may never help me again.
4th down. And right at the chains is Worship, but he looks like he's going to be marked shy.
Just about half a yard shy of the first down mark.
Let's check in with Dari in the studio.
Guys, you're not going to believe it. 2020, last play from their own 34-yard line. Florida, Felipe Franks rolls right and fires. And Tyree Cleveland gets behind the defense, and the throw is perfect. Touchdown, Gators. They win it on the last play, and as Chris Doering said, that knocks my Kentucky play down a notch.
I'll tell you what, that is how Tennessee won a lot of football games last year. And
they had, of course, the play that ends the
back.
Game against Georgia. Yeah,
Poetic Justice coming back in 2017.
Juwan Jennings made that Hail Mary catch for the Vols last year to beat the Dogs, and they get a dose of their own medicine today. Heartbreak for UT in the swamp. Wow. The arm strength on that throw. That was Cordell Stewart in the big house like. Micah Wilson is now in at quarterback for Missouri, the freshman from Tulsa. His father, Curtis, played on the same offensive line here with Drew Lock's father, Andy, in the late 80s. And handoff to Roundtree. He's got the first down and past the 40-yard line down near the 39.
That's the first time in 5 years that Purdue's defense has held an opponent under 200 total yards.
Well, they're at 199 at the moment.
Still scrapping. If it holds up, first time in 5 years.
One more to ask you about. Gamecocks or Wildcats in Columbia tonight?
I got to like South Carolina in that ball game. They've got basically too many playmakers for Kentucky to contain. And then it's at South Carolina. Jake Bentley is all I need to say. At home with Jake Bentley.
Well, this has been all Purdue today. The Boilermakers securing a 35-3 victory on the road. 477 total yards of offense. And Jeff Brom, in the honeymoon era in West Lafayette, is showing what kind of football coach he is. Boilers with a tremendous performance on the road in Como today. Once again, our final score, 35-3. So long from Columbia. Let's head back to the studio.